Oggi Gurugaranga Gandharvi Kagiritari Radvinu Parijuki Jai. Today I'm going to talk just about some random things that I want to remember, that I want to document. One of them is just the state of the growth of the garden, which is absolutely amazing. Like, to me, to see how quickly everything has been coming up in the last couple of weeks, really. It's just mind-boggling. Just going to pan the camera around. You can see that everything looks really green. So you have to imagine that when we first bought this house in last September last year, all of this, there was nothing that was green except for maybe a few leaves on these acacias. All of this was just all dried out, brown, sort of hay type stuff lying on the ground, maybe sticking up, little like dry reed baked in the sun. So to see it like this now is just a crazy transformation. I think the weather's been really good for this kind of thing. Generally, people have been telling us, oh, it gets green in the spring and it looks really nice in the spring. But this year especially, because it's been cooler for longer and quite wet, things have just sprung up like mad. I've been trying to keep an eye on the wildflowers and the other plants that are springing up. Just I like to learn things and observe things and maybe categorize things as well, but it's really interesting and exciting to me to get a bit of a grip on what plants are growing in my garden. When are they growing? When do they first come out? When are they blossoming? When do they grow big? When do certain trees bloom or make leaves? So I'm starting to keep a diary on that and make some lists. And many of the plants I just don't know, so I've been pressing them, photographing them, trying to Google search with pictures and use little apps to determine what they are. And because most of them are very common weeds, I'll put it in the app and it'll just give me like 10 different plants, and they all look pretty much the same, but are not. So I'm just sat there and I'm like, yeah, maybe, or maybe that, or maybe this one. So sometimes it's just the best guess, but I think I'm getting there. So just here you can see grass kind of compared with my hand. It's really quite tall. These over here are dock, I think, and they start out as little leaves like this, quite manageable, and go up to, this one is pretty much up to my face now. That's mad, isn't it? So we've been eating them a little bit. They're quite nice in stews and soups and things. Not too much, apparently. If you eat them too much, they're not so healthy. Obviously we've got dandelion, although it's surprising that they are quite late. They're only just now coming out. Chickweed and other types of things. You can see in the background there somebody slashing away at it. We're trying to clear just this strip here underneath our washing line so we can at least walk there and not sink in the sea of grass when we're putting up our washing. It is getting to the point where it's actually quite difficult to walk from one place to another. This is not so bad, but here I've made a path and it's kind of growing so as I can't actually, I can walk through it, but for example when it's wet it's not really nice, and our compost is starting to be hidden. And the thing that is most sort of worrying for me is that we've done all this clearing and we've still got lots of kind of islands of things that are lying around, like little mounds of rubble, stone, maybe some wood, although wood not so much, mostly stone and rubble. And it's just being overgrown by the grass. And by now it is actually quite hard to find it. And so we're racing a little bit to clean up as much of it as we can before it just disappears. And then probably we'll have to wait until next year to do it, which is also fine. Yeah, so this bit here, this rubble here, is slowly getting swallowed up by this pretty beautiful grass. Lots of thistles here on this mound. Thistles are everywhere. If anyone's got any idea what this beautiful leaf here is, this is one of the ones that gives me about 100 options for. The leaves are apparently very similar to that of a lot of different plants. Last thing I wanted to show you just for fun is something I just discovered earlier. What we've got a lot of around is ants. We have lots of ants, but this here is pretty crazy. You can see it's absolutely teeming there. I don't know what they're doing. There's like a little line going to this piece of wood there. They're kind of going in there or coming out. I don't know. I don't know if they're moving in there or if they're moving out and trying to make a home here. But they're coming through cracks in the concrete, and they're on the patio, and in every dead piece of wood that we find they are. And just very quickly they move in, and I don't like to disturb them too much. I think, you know, they need somewhere to be, but it's getting to a point where they are everywhere, and I don't want them everywhere. They are moving up this post here. They're probably going into the roof. They're not termites, but yeah, I don't want to share everything with them. They can live out there in the garden. There's lots of space, so I need to find a solution for that somehow. So that's just a little update, random thoughts, things that have been on my mind, and we've been working on that mostly. And the wall, which there'll be a video update on fairly soon, I think. じゃあじゃあ、白手シャン、スリーニッタイゴーラ、ハリーボール。